Crvena Zvezda is the back-to-back ABA League champion. Red and Whites swept Megalex in the final series to defend the title they won the previous season. Megalex played with a lot of heart, but simply didn't have enough strength for the prolonged battle with the EuroLeague quarter-finalists, with so many players out with injuries. Crvena Zvezda's Stefan Jovic averaged 8 assists per game and was rewarded for an exceptional season, being named the finals MVP. He wasn't brilliant in the ABA League alone, but in the elite European competition as well. Judging by the scoreboard, perhaps the most exciting game was the first game of the final playoff series in the Aleksandar Nikolic Sports Hall. The home team won 95-88, but the game was undecided until the fourth quarter. It was well known that coach Dejan Milojevic will have to make do without a number of players who played a key role in the win over Budućnost in the semi-finals. During the long break before the final series, Megalex struggled with injuries. Jaramaz Skaba, Aranitovic and Timi Luvavu missed the entire series, while Pavlovic sat out the first game. Even with such a short rotation, Mega came close to pulling off an upset with an extremely high shooting percentage. However, it wasn't the case from the very beginning. The visiting team struggled defending Jovic and Cirbes, and the defending champions scored 21 points in just 7 minutes and seemed headed to a double-digit lead. But the youngest team in the league wouldn't give in. During the second period, Mega managed to take the lead a couple of times. Ivanovic and Nikolic were excellent, but Georgi Simeunovic played his best game of the season, scoring 20 points. The home team had a 3-point lead at the halftime, and it would be a Quincy Miller show in the second half. Crvena Zvezda grabbed a game-high 9-point lead. Ivanovic orchestrated a comeback effort from the visiting team, and with a 3-pointer from Zagorac, Mega went into the final period with a 2-point lead. Marko Simonovic dropped a few bombs from long distance and led his team to a 13-point lead in the final period. But Mega never surrendered. With a 9-0 run, they came as close as 4, but Marko Guduric answered the challenge. With 7 consecutive points, he sent the home team to a Game-1 victory. Miller and Cirbes led Crvena Zvezda with 17 points apiece, with the German adding 12 rebounds to the tally. Several players also scored in double digits, Simonovic with 15, Lazic with 12 and Jovic with 11 points and 9 assists. Along with the aforementioned Simeunovic, Ivanovic and Nikolic shined as well in the losing effort, scoring 18 and 25 points respectively. The second game of the final series was played just 2 days later in Belgrade. We saw the best of Crvena Zvezda in this game. Dejan Radonjic's men finished the game with an incredible number of 31 assists. Mega managed to pacify Mike Cirbes, but they had no answer for the 14 successful 3-point shots from the home team. In all 3 games, EuroLeague top 8 member dominated the boards. When you add 17 turnovers by the visiting team, it is clear why this came to be the most convincing victory in the series. Team led by Dejan Milojevic managed to parry their rivals only in the first period, which was very efficient, much like in the first game of the series. But in the second period, Red and Whites grabbed a double-digit lead, which they held until the end of the game. Mega had a high shooting percentage in this game as well, most of all Nikola Ivanovic, who drained 6 out of 10 teams' 3-pointers. With 22 points, he was the game's top scorer, followed by Zagorac and Nikolic with 16 apiece. But that wasn't enough against Crvena Zvezda, where only Nemanja Dangubic, who was absent due to minor injury, didn't score. Marko Simonovic led the home team with 16 points, going 4 from 8 from the 3-point line. Miller ended the game with 11, while Kinsey and Lazic scored 10 points each. Stefan Jovic impressed the most, with 9 points, 4 steals and 4 rebounds. Team captain Luka Mitrovic played well, scoring 9 points and adding 5 assists and 4 offensive rebounds. With 93-74 victory, Crvena Zvezda came within a win from defending the title. Crvena Zvezda took care of business in the third game of the series, and for the second time in club's history won the regional championship. In front of a packed house in Sremska Mitrovica, Dejan Radonjic's team completely controlled the game and managed to prevent Megalex from extending the series with a win. Crvena Zvezda started off in force. Thanks to Quincy Miller, who had the 10 points, the visiting team raced to an 8-point lead in the first period. Mega had some gas left in the tank. Rade Zagorac played his best game in this final series and partnered with Ivanovic sparked a comeback from the home team. However, by the end of the halftime, the Red and Whites took the lead back, 37-34. Later on, both teams became visibly tired. Defenses can take some credit for the low percentages from the field and a number of turnovers, but certainly most of the mistakes were made due to exhaustion and lack of focus. The third period will be remembered as the lowest scoring one in the ABA League this season. We saw only 15 points combined. Even in such a tough game, Crvena Zvezda managed to control the game. Simonovic was on target for some very important shots in the final period, and 3 minutes before the final buzzer, Crvena Zvezda grabbed a double-digit lead. It was a signal for the players, members of the coaching staff, and the red and white supporters to start celebrating. The final buzzer in this season of ABA League went off with the result 61-49. We managed to win the trophy. We showed respect to Mega and we didn't let the fact that they were missing a number of players fool us. We were aware it would take 3 wins and how difficult it would be. We had to take it one game at a time. We had a challenging semi-final series against j.t.d as well, but my players were at the top of their game when it mattered the most. I missed most of the season, but was lucky enough to come back in the right moment when it mattered the most. I gave it all. I didn't have much left in my tank, still recovering from an injury, but I left it all on the court. I'm glad I played a part in the championship run. We earned it. It was a turbulent season. It wasn't easy, but we deserved it. It means a lot to the team to be able to defend the championship title despite so many problems we faced this season. We leave behind another memorable season of ABA League. Crvena Zvezda is the champion yet again. All things considered, deservingly so. Despite the turbulent regular season, they were at the top of their game when it mattered the most, in the final days of the regular season and especially in the playoffs. The other ABA League finalist is a team which can no longer be considered a Cinderella. Megalex will be in consideration to repeat as a playoff team next season. A place in the finals this season was no coincidence. This was the last edition of ABA League magazine. See you again next season.